Cameron Robertson, one of Platinum's investment analysts, will give a brief overview of the changes taking place in the global media market. So Cameron, what are the big trends in media today?
The last few years we've seen some big shifts actually. People are moving away from traditional media, whether that's newspapers were the first ones to see that shift. Now we're starting to see it in television and what people are listening to as well. Younger users are where that's most pronounced. So in terms of television, for example, 18 to 24-year-olds have reduced the amount of television they're watching by 40% in just 5 years. What people are listening to as well, so older users, 55 plus, 95% of their listening time is still with AM and FM radio, whereas teenagers, it's less than half of their listening time. And where that attention's going, there's been a number of beneficiaries, newer online business models typically, so something like Netflix, which launched their streaming service in 2007. Last year it delivered 42.5 billion hours of content, and that was growing at almost 50% clip. YouTube reaches over 1 billion viewers. You've got Pandora, Spotify, there's online classified services, news services, Facebook, huge range. And within those online models, we're also seeing the increasing importance of mobile. So for YouTube, for example, more than half of YouTube views came through mobile platforms. Classifieds users, more than half of them across most countries are coming through mobile, and advertisers are following the users as well. So advertising can shift slowly from some mediums, but there have been times where we've seen that really hit a tipping point and move quite rapidly from traditional through to newer media. I mean, classifieds was a great example of that.
So should we just buy the challenges and avoid the traditional media companies?
I can see where you're coming from. It's not a bad starting point, but you do need to be careful, and investing the price you pay has a massive impact on the returns you're going to generate. So if you think about the traditional media companies, a lot of them are trading for maybe 8 to 11 times EV to EBITDA in the broadcasting space, for example. Whereas if we look at something like Netflix, that's trading for more than 130 times EV to EBITDA. So you need to be careful with the valuations that you're paying for these companies. And the other thing is, it can be competitive, right? People are struggling to capture users, and they're throwing money at it. So challengers can struggle to win customers and then to convert that into a profitable business model.
And then how did Platinum exploit this in the portfolios?
There's a couple of companies that I'm pretty excited about. So one is Schibsted. It's a Norwegian company, was in newspapers, been around for almost 180 years, and they've managed to shift their business to a very successful online classifieds, global powerhouse in more than 30 countries through Europe, Latin America, Asia, and they've got leading positions in a whole range of classifieds. Whether we think large wealthy countries like France, you've got the leading real estate and leading cars portal. Spain, you've got jobs, you're the leading position. Norway, strong positions across all the classifieds markets there. Ireland, I could go on. So a lot of interesting positions there, and at 6 billion euros, we think that that's a bargain really, and has pretty significant upside over the coming years. There are a number of other companies that we like that benefit indirectly from some of those shifts. So whether it's the shifts to online, for example, that drives traffic through internet service providers, things like Level 3, which is a US-listed fiber network. It's a tier 1 network, the backbone of the internet, if you will. And they touch almost half of the world's internet traffic. And that company, you can buy that today on market for about $28 billion. It cost them almost $45 billion to build, so a huge discount to the replacement value of that asset. And we think this is key infrastructure of the 21st century, really. It's generating attractive cash flows, getting great returns on incremental capital. So that's another company we quite like. There are a number of other positions across the funds that benefit from those shifts as well, whether it's things like Skyworks that helps with mobile data communication, Google that picks up ad dollars shifting online, Tencent in Asia. So there's a number of ways that we see those trends expressed in our portfolios.
Thank you, Cameron. For the latest updates, please visit the journal page of our website.